Good morning and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. Today, we're going to dive into a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced that the United States has proposed a new format for peace talks, which would include representatives from both Ukraine and Russia, as well as American and possibly European envoys. This news comes as Zelensky met with reporters in Kyiv over the weekend, where he shared details about the potential new format. According to Zelensky, the U.S. has suggested a separate meeting with Russian representatives, and the proposed format would bring together Ukraine, America, Russia, and possibly Europe. It's worth noting that Ukraine and Russia have not negotiated face-to-face since July, but U.S.-backed shuttle diplomacy has intensified in recent weeks. Ukrainian and European representatives held discussions with American counterparts in the U.S. on Friday and agreed to resume contacts soon. This development is significant as it could potentially pave the way for a new round of peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. The conflict between the two countries has been ongoing for nearly 4 years, resulting in thousands of deaths and widespread destruction. As we continue to follow this story, it's essential to remember that finding a peaceful resolution will require cooperation and compromise from all parties involved. We'll be keeping a close eye on any further developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're halfway through our program, and I'm excited to share with you some of the most significant stories making headlines around the world. Today, we're focusing on politics and business, with a particular emphasis on international relations. Let's start with the news that Krispy Kreme is selling its Japan business to Unison Capital. This move marks a significant shift in the company's strategy as it seeks to reorganize its global operations. According to reports, Unison Capital will acquire Krispy Kreme's Japan operations for an undisclosed sum. This deal is expected to have a substantial impact on the Japanese market, where Krispy Kreme has a significant presence. In other news, we're seeing a surge in political activity as we head into the new year. In the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing a challenging year ahead, with his party struggling to gain traction amidst economic stagnation and public concerns about immigration. Meanwhile, in the United States, President Donald Trump is entering an election year with significant wins under his belt, but also facing substantial political headwinds. We're also keeping a close eye on developments in Germany, where the far-right AfD party is making gains by cozying up to the MAGA movement in the United States. This has sparked concerns about the potential for extremist ideologies to spread across borders. As we navigate these complex and often interconnected stories, it's essential to remain informed and engaged. At Barbara's Bulletin, we're committed to providing you with fair, balanced, and unbiased reporting, helping you make sense of the world around you. Welcome back to the final segment of today's Barbara's Bulletin. We're taking a closer look at the developing situation in Bangladesh, where hundreds of thousands of people gathered for the funeral of Sharif Osman Hadi, a prominent activist who died from gunshot wounds sustained in an attack earlier this month. As we've been following this story, it's clear that the death of Hadi has sparked widespread outrage and protests across the country. The 35-year-old activist was a key figure in last year's political uprising that ended former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's 15-year rule, and his shooting has raised concerns about the ongoing political tensions in Bangladesh. According to reports, Hadi's funeral procession was marked by chants of "We will be Hadi, we will be fighting decades after decades, and we will not let Hadi's blood go in vain." The country's interim leader, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus, has urged citizens to remain calm, but the situation remains volatile. As we delve deeper into this story, it's essential to consider the complex web of political alliances and rivalries at play in Bangladesh. The upcoming national elections in February are likely to be a pivotal moment in the country's transition to democracy, with several major parties vying for power. The Jamaat-e-Islami Party, the country's largest Islamist party, is leading an alliance to carve out a bigger political space in the absence of Hasina's party and its allies. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party is hoping to form the next government. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's crucial to remember that the situation in Bangladesh is multifaceted and influenced by a range of factors, including historical grievances, regional dynamics, and the ongoing struggle for democracy. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.